Hello guys, and welcome to my March vlog post. Now actually I've decided to stop calling them January, February and March vlog posts because that kind of limits my ability to intercept and pop something in between if I kind of feel that there's something that I'm thinking about that actually might be really important to share. So I'm just going to say welcome to my vlog post in future. Now, I've been having to think about this because none of my vlogs are pre-recorded. They're not perfect. They're kind of done ad hoc, and I think that's quite important. But I have been thinking quite a lot over the last month, and I thought I don't know whether actually using some of my own experiences might actually help people to understand the context or really what I'm trying to say. And one of the sort of really important, I think kind of issues with anxiety is that we kind of never believe we're okay and that we're going to be okay to feel this feeling. And the reason for that, I think, is because when this feeling first happens, it feels so frightening and so overwhelming that we're almost like, oh my God, what is this? What's happening to me? I must be kind of really ill. And then what happens is we react to that. We kind of label it as a real problem. There's something wrong with me. And, whatever I take, if I take a tablet from the doctor, it doesn't go away. And oh my God, I'm really panicking about this. And so we believe we've got a problem and we react to that. And when we react to it, we start to form a habit because we go, oh God, I need to protect myself from this feeling because this is really bad. If I feel this, something really bad is going to happen. So what we do, if this makes any sense, is we follow our natural instinct to protect ourselves. And if you think about it logically, if we believe we're in danger, our natural instinct would be to not feel that feeling, which incidentally, as we go on further in these vlogs, is exactly what needs to happen, because you can't believe that something's less scary or that you're resilient to feeling it if you don't feel it. It's impossible. So what happens when people sort of enter this habitual cycle of anxiety is they spend so much time monitoring themselves and sort of controlling everything around them to not let this feeling happen. Which incidentally, in the short term, they're thinking, right, okay, well, that's brilliant because I'm not feeling the feeling. I'm helping myself. But actually, it's not, because in the longer term, it's reinforcing that there's a problem, that there is something wrong with that original feeling, and that you're kind of not okay. So that's what we do. Now, that's why we kind of don't believe that, or ever get to the point where we believe that we're resilient enough to feel this feeling and that the feeling's not dangerous. And it's almost like I get asked so many times, and I wondered myself actually with my anxiety so many times, right, hang on, I felt anxious like it feels like millions and millions of times. How have I never understood that this is actually not going to hurt me? And how have I got through every single panic attack that I've had when I believed that each one would overwhelm me completely, and that would, I don't know what I thought really, but that would be the end of me. And here I am, so how is that? And why can I not believe it? And some of that is down to the fact that we put things in place that convince us that without that, we're not going to deal with it. And it's really interesting because some of them are really obvious, like if you believe you're going to be sick and you're frightened of being sick, it might be that you carry a sick bag in your pocket and you think, well, if I've got my sick bag, I'm all right. But if I haven't, I'm really panicking. But some are more subtle as well. So they sort of form a bigger picture of avoidance, and they're much more subtle. So part of what I see as being able to overcome the habitual cycle that comes with anxiety is kind of really looking at yourself and identifying what, and I call it, well, I think they are called safety behaviours actually, but looking at what safety behaviours and looking at what parameters you might have put in place to protect yourself. So it's following your natural instinct to protect yourself. So one of mine, because I identified the most with agoraphobic type symptoms. So the way I see anxiety is that we can label ourselves, we can go, oh my God, I've got panic disorder. Oh my God, I'm sure this is turning into general anxiety. I'm sure this is social anxiety. But I believe it all comes from the same root. It just manifests in different people in different ways. And I feel like myself, if I was really honest, throughout the time I had anxiety, probably identified with all of them at some point. And it didn't help me. It made me worse to think, oh my God, I'm getting this now and I'm getting this now. And because that sort of fueled the cycle more. But I think overall, I did identify how stress manifests in me was that I would want to kind of avoid anywhere where I felt that I might feel the feeling, because it's not a fear of going out, it's a fear of feeling a feeling of fear in a place in which you can't control it. So it's almost like if I go into a meeting at work and somebody closes the door and I've got to be in there for 6 hours, oh my God, what if I get anxious? I'm not going to be able to hide it in there. So I can't put myself in that position. So one of the things that I would do is I'd sort of think about the fear, and I would think about everything I needed to do to protect myself from that coming if I attended a meeting. Because I know it's no secret that I worked in the medical industry as a medical representative for many years before I became a therapist. And that was quite interesting for me because it fueled a lot of my avoidances. And before I got acute anxiety, when I look back now, I had avoidances prior to that, really. It was just, I'd not really noticed them. And I don't mind going off on a bit of a tangent and telling you about that. So I would drive somewhere far off for a meeting, but I wouldn't go on a train, or I wouldn't go on an aeroplane. I'd make up some massive excuse and go, oh my God, I've got some family near there, so I'm gonna drive my car if that's all right. And people at work would go, oh yeah, that's fine. And I'd go, right, okay. And I'd end up having to get up sort of 6 hours before a meeting and drive there, which was really stressful and really hell. But it was really important to me to have the car so that I could escape. Now, I'd never paid attention to that being an issue for me. So it was almost like when I looked back, I thought, oh my God, I was avoiding going on a train and going on a plane, but I just accepted that as normal at the time. And it was only when anxiety completely sort of felt like it overwhelmed me that I started to pick up the past and what I was avoiding. But actually I felt fine at that time, but I just naturally avoided things without really questioning it at all. So it became more obvious as time went on. So what happens? So imagine that I'm attending a meeting and I've got to travel there. So I think, right, okay, what can I do to get out of this meeting before I even get there if I get an anxious feeling? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get there. So I'd break it down getting there. That would be hard enough. And then I'd sort of walk into the hotel where the meeting was taking place. And I'd walk into the meeting room and I'd say to the person who was running the meeting, right, okay, just to let you know that I'm here, I'm in the meeting, but a family member's not very well. So I may have to go, which was a complete fabrication. It wasn't the case at all. And the person that was running the meeting would go, oh my God, I'm really sorry to hear that. Well, you're here. That's the best thing. So, do what you can. If you get a phone call, fine, just get yourself off. So I'd be like, phew, okay, I've made an excuse that will get me out of here without looking odd if I need to. Okay, but hang on, wait a minute. What if I feel really, really self-conscious, putting my hand up and going, oh my God, I need to go, because what will everybody else think? So I know what I'll do is I'll prepare for going to the toilet and just going. So if things get too much, I won't even tell the facilitator, because what if they notice that something was wrong with me if I was really, really panicking? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with something else. So if I leave to go to the toilet and I just go, I'm going to need to not have left anything in the room. So I'm not going to bring my handbag into the meeting. I'm not going to bring any paper into the meeting. I'm not going to bring anything that I need to leave as such that somebody might see I might need my handbag. So I'm going to go in with just my car key, and I'm going to leave as much as I can in the car. And I'm going to have my car key in my hand, and I'm going to leave my hand on my lap, and I'm going to keep checking that the car key's there. Wait a minute, I can't wear heels, because if I wear heels, I might not be able to run. So I'm going to wear flat shoes. So I need to wear flat shoes. I need to wear comfortable clothes that I can get out of there. I need to have my phone charged up in case I'm really panicking. I need to ring somebody when I leave. I need to have my car key in my hand. You know, I might have to put my phone down the top of something and turn it off so that I've got it on me. I don't leave it on the table. And then worst case scenario, I can just go to the toilet and just get out there. So when and only when I had all this in place, did I feel safe or start to feel safe as my anxiety calmed down a little bit to attend meetings. And it was excruciating because the worry and the planning and, you know, what I was trying to do was avoid feeling panicky within the meeting or on the journey home. But actually, when I think about it, all the preparation and all the worrying actually made me feel like I was trying to avoid, it made me feel the feelings I was trying to avoid. Anyway, so it was like really ironic. And quite often if I did panic and I did leave, there was a lot of shame involved as well, because I was really scared. You know, I didn't know. I wanted to tell someone and go, oh my God, help me, please. I just don't know what's happening to me. But I couldn't because I felt so ashamed. So if I did leave having a panic attack, there I was 4 or 5 hours from home in a car on the motorway in a right state. And I only started to feel less anxious the closer I got to home. And it was a really, really difficult, challenging and unhappy time. And when I kind of look back now, I think, oh my God, you know, I put all that in place. I would never, ever, ever have believed that it was okay to feel this feeling and that I was strong enough to deal with it. All those times I'd dealt with it anyway, I just never believed it, because what I did was I put tons of things in place. And this is really powerful. You know, don't be hard on yourself. I mean, one of the things that I will share with you was that, you know, working in the medical industry in a private company gave, you know, a fairly good wage. You were okay. You know, you were well looked after and you drove around in a little company vehicle and, you know, you were okay. You were able to live, you know, not super rich, not, you know, not struggling, but just okay. But I certainly didn't want to lose my job because that would have a massive impact on my family. But that's exactly what did happen on many occasions. And the reason it happened was because if somebody were to say something like, we're going to have a conference in France, I couldn't take my car to France and I couldn't get back. So if it was April and they said, we're going to France in June, I'd think, oh my God, I've only got 2 months work left and I'm going to have to pack my job in and leave. And that is what I did. And then, of course, the stress and anxiety got worse because as a family, we really, really struggled. It was so powerful, was that feeling to me, that I would end my job in a heartbeat rather than feel it. So I really want to get across this. I really wanted to share this today because it's so important in sort of letting you know that this is not easy and it's all right to take a backward step and then try and go forward again. This is, like I've said before in these vlogs, it's a process and it takes a little bit of getting a handle of. And that's because as people, we've reinforced it so well because we were so scared. But it can change. And one of the ways to change that in the interim, in the initial instance, is to start to recognize where it's happening. And then to ask yourself, actually, do you know what, is this helping me? And is there anything that I can do to start testing it a little bit, just to leave something, you know, maybe take something and put it on the table, or you know, go in a heel and see what, you know, what happens if you do need to run. But actually, can I stay? Can I just look at the clock and go, just 2 more minutes, and then I'll go, but 2 more minutes. And before you know it, the meeting's over. And that's what I started to do. I started to go, right, okay, do you know what? I'm not going to avoid it. I'm going to go and I'm going to work it out if and when it happens when I get there. And so I bravely entered the meeting and I might have given the odd excuse, but in general, I was there. And it was toe curling. It was absolutely excruciating, but I could break it up. You know, I can stay till 10. I can stay till 11. Oh, now it's dinner time. Oh my God, can you imagine if I can stay till 1? Hang on a minute, the meeting's finishing at 4 and it's already 2 because lunch is finished. Oh my God, I've done it. It's 4 o'clock and I'm on my way home. And when that little critical voice goes, you can't even attend a meeting, you know, the one that I'm talking about, you go, well, actually, do you know what? I can, because I did. So it's a slow process. It's becoming aware and then looking at where you can kind of intercept that cycle. Now, I hope this helps, and I'll look forward to seeing you all for my next vlog. Take care now.